Good morning. This is the time and place noticed for the Maryland Public Services Commission's meeting for July the 25th, 2018. We had a productive meeting yesterday with the Supplier Diversity Conference, and I appreciated hearing from all the participants on that important issue. We'll be taking those concerns back and figuring out next steps in the weeks ahead. I do not have any additional opening statements. Any opening statements from the commissioners? At this point, we will move forward to the approval of the minutes from the last administrative meeting. Is there a motion?
Yes, I move we approve the minutes from last week's administrative meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Madam Secretary, can we move to the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. There are 5 items on the consent agenda this morning. They are all revised tariff pages in which each of the company proposes to revise its intrastate terminating access rates pursuant to Step 7 of the FCC's Connect America Fund Order. Item number 1 is Talkie Communications, Inc., filed its revised tariff pages on June 15, 2018. The second item is Matrix Telecom, Inc., which filed its revised tariff pages on July 2, 2018. The third item is Eureka Telecom, Inc., DBA Eureka Networks, which filed its revised tariff pages on July 2, 2018. The fourth item is Envoy LLC, which filed its revised tariff pages on July 3, 2018. And item 5 is CBeyond Communications LLC, DBA Birch, which filed its revised tariff pages on July 3, 2018.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have questions on the consent agenda? Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For item number 1, I would move that we accept the tariff revisions for filing and direct the company to file clean copies of the revised tariff pages with an effective date of July 25, 2018. For item number 2, I would move that we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of July 31st, 2018, and direct the company to comply with all SDAT requirements and to notify the Commission of its good standing with SDAT no later than October 31st, 2018, to avoid action by the Commission to revoke the company's operating authority, and that we grant a waiver of the 30-day notice period required by Public Utilities Article Section 4-203A. And finally, for items numbers 3 through 5, I would move that we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of August 2, 2018, and direct the company to comply with all SDAT requirements and to notify the Commission of its good standing with SDAT no later than October 31, 2018, again to avoid action by the Commission to revoke the company's operating authority.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Madam Secretary, can we move to the administrative agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Item number 6 is Birch Communication of the Northeast, Inc., DBA Birch Communication, filed on April 12, 2018, notification of name change and replacement tariffs.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Lloyd Spivak for the Commission staff. This is a filing by Birch Communications of the Northeast Incorporated, doing business as Birch Communications, proposing to change its name to Birch Communications of the Northeast LLC, doing business as Birch Communications, and revise its tariff pages to reflect the name change. The name change does reflect conversion of the corporate form to an LLC. The change in the corporate form will have no customer impact, as there will be no change in the name of the customer's provider and no effect on the rates or service offered to customers. The company has no outstanding assessments. Staff recommends the Commission accept the tariff revision for filing and direct the company to file a clean copy of the effective tariff pages with an effective date of July 25th, 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak. Is there a representative from Birch with us today? Seeing none, do commissioners have any questions on this item? Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the tariff revisions for filing and direct the company to file a clean copy of the affected tariff pages with an effective date of July 25th, 2018.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak.
The next item, item 7, is Time Clock Solutions, LLC, filed on April 19, 2018, an application for authority to provide resold local exchange telecommunications services in Maryland.
Morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Janice Flynn for this item. Time Clock Solutions has applied for authority to provide resold local exchange service in Maryland. The company intends to serve less than 20,000 customers and is therefore not required to file a tariff pursuant to Commission Order Number 88353 in case 9414. The required affidavit stating that if the company obtains more than 20,000 customers, it will file a tariff, was filed in this case on June the 26th. Staff has reviewed the company's pricing guide, which was posted on its website, and has no problems with the pricing guide. Staff has reviewed the application and finds it complies with the Commission's requirements. Staff recommends that the Commission grant the requested authority and grant the company the requested COMAR waivers in Waiver Group C, which applies to resold local exchange carriers.
Thank you, Ms. Flynn. Do the Commissioners have questions? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Commission grant the company authority to provide resold local exchange telecommunications services in Maryland and grant the company the requested COMAR waivers in Waiver Group C.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Item number 8 is Light Tower Fiber Networks 2, LLC, filed on May 21, 2018, notification of name change and replacement tariff pages.
Janice Flynn again for this item. Light Tower Fiber Networks 2, LLC, has filed a notice of name change and replacement tariff pages. The company is changing its name and logo to Crown Castle following a transfer of control of Light Tower to Crown Castle. The Commission noted that transfer at its October 18th administrative meeting. The company has filed replacement tariff pages to update the name. Staff recommends that the Commission accept the tariff for filing and direct the company to file a clean copy of the revised tariff pages with an effective date of July 25th, 2018.
Thank you, Ms. Flynn. Do the Commissioners have questions on this item? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, for item number 8, I move we accept the tariff pages for filing and direct the company to file a clean copy of the affected tariff pages with an effective date of July 25th, 2018.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Item number 9 is TKC Holdings, Inc., Inmate Calling Solutions, LLC, DBA IC Solutions, and Securus Technologies, Inc., filed on May 24, 2018. Notification of TKC Holdings, Inc., Inmate Calling Solutions, LLC, DBA IC Solutions, and Securus Technologies, Inc., regarding 1, the proposed transfer of control of Inmate Calling Solutions, LLC, DBA IC Solutions, to Securus Technologies, Inc., and 2, the planned participation of Inmate Calling Solutions, LLC, DBA IC Solutions, in certain financing arrangements.
Janice Flynn again for this item. TKC Holdings, Inmate Calling Solutions, DBA IC Solutions, and Securus Technologies have notified the Commission of a proposed transfer of control of ICS to Securus, to Securus, and the planned participation of ICS in certain financing arrangements. According to the joint filing, ICS, TKC, Keith, and Securus have entered into a unit purchase agreement dated as of April 22, 2018, pursuant to which Securus will acquire all of the issued and outstanding membership interests of ICS from Keith. As a result, ICF will become a wholly owned direct subsidiary of Securus, and in turn an indirect subsidiary of SCRS and SCRS parent. PECP4 will be the ultimate majority owner of ICS. The parties intend to consummate the transaction as promptly as possible after necessary federal and state approvals have been resolved. The Commission previously noted the financing arrangements for Securus at its July 5, 2017 administrative meeting. When this transaction closes, ICS, becoming a wholly owned direct subsidiary of Securus, will then participate in these financing arrangements. As noted in staff's comments, since ICS provides inmate calling services, it continues to provide a regulated service, and therefore this transaction must be considered by the Commission. Based on prior Commission findings, however, because ICS is a limited liability company and therefore has no capital stock, the Commission approval of the transaction and financing is not required under Sections PUA 5203 and 6101. Staff recommends that the Commission note the transaction and participation in the financing arrangements.
Thank you, Ms. Flynn. Do the Commissioners have questions regarding this proposed transfer of control? No. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For item number 9, I move that we note the transaction and participation in the financing arrangements.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The transaction is noted. Thank you.
Item number 10 is Talk America Services, LLC, filed on June 11, 2018, notice of partial discontinuance of local exchange services and intrastate long-distance services.
Janice, again for this item. Talk America Services, LLC, has notified the Commission of a partial discontinuance of local exchange service to certain residential customers effective August 1st. 98 residential customers in Maryland are impacted by the change. These customers were notified of this discontinuance by a letter dated May 31st, 2018. The company has also filed an application with the FCC as required, and no comments were filed in that docket, and therefore the partial discontinuance is deemed approved by the FCC. As of July the 19th, the company has transferred 26 of its customers to alternative providers, and another 13 were pending as of that date. The remaining were undecided. A dedicated phone line for these customers has been put in place by the company. Staff recommends that the Commission note the filing.
Thank you, Ms. Flynn. Do Commissioners have questions on this item? Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move we note the filing.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. The filing is noted.
Thank you.
Item 11 is Sandpiper Energy, Inc., filed on July 2nd, 2018, a negotiated contract executed on June 25th, 2017.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chairman Michael Dean on behalf of staff. Item 11 is a filing by Sandpiper Energy Incorporated of a negotiated contract with a customer under COMAR 20.55.03.02A. A gas company is to file a copy of any contract for service not covered by a tariff. The criteria for acceptance is that any special contract should recover customer-specific variable costs and contribute to fixed costs, and that the customer has a viable competitive alternative and would not result in excessive rate increases to other customers. The non-public version of staff comments shows that the contract meets these criteria. Staff recommends acceptance of the negotiated contract for filing under rate schedule NCR negotiated contract rate.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Do Commissioners have questions on these negotiated rate contracts? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Commission accept the negotiated contract for filing under rate schedule NCR negotiated contract rate.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 12 is being deferred. Item number 13 is Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, filed on June 21, 2018, revised tariff pages.
Good morning again, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Lloyd Spivak for the Commission staff. This is BGE's Type 2 standard offer service rates for the period from September 1st through November 30th, 2018. By virtue of the settlement in case number 8908 and Commission decisions in case number 9056, Type 2 SOS is provided to commercial and industrial customers with peak load contributions between 25 and 600 megawatts. Excuse me, that's kilowatts. It is procured and priced on a quarterly basis per the Commission's orders in case number 9056. Bidding to provide Type 2 supply for the September to November period was conducted on June 11, 2018. Depending on the customer's class, the average year-on-year bill change ranges from a decrease of 0.5% to an increase of 0.4%, while the supply rate change between the summer and fall quarters ranges from a decrease of 2.1% to a decrease of 4.8%. Staff recommends that the Commission accept for filing Baltimore Gas and Electric Company's revisions to its Type 2 Standard Offer Service energy rates with an effective date of September 1st, 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak. Do commissioners have any questions regarding this SOS rate application? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, for item number 13, I move we accept the tariff revisions for filing with an effective date of September 1, 2018.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Item 14 is UGI Central Penn Gas, Inc., formerly known as PPL Gas Utilities Corp., filed on March 13, 2018, notice of proposed corporate restructuring and name change.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Peter Wolson on behalf of staff. I unfortunately wasn't able to be here 2 weeks ago when you first discussed this matter, but staff's position remains the same. We believe that this transaction should be approved, the transfer of the franchise, and I'm here to answer any questions you may still have.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. We've had some discussions regarding this item since that last administrative meeting. Do commissioners at this point have additional questions on the proposed transaction? No? Okay. At this point, I will ask a motion of a commissioner, and we'll add a recommendation to that.
Okay. I would like to make a motion. I would move that we approve the merger of UGI Central Penn Gas Incorporated into UGI Utilities Incorporated, including the transfer of CPG's natural gas franchise for Emmitsburg to UGI Utilities, as consistent with the public convenience and necessity upon filing by UGI Utilities of the following. 1, notice that the merger has been completed, and 2, submission of a tariff for UGI Utilities that is identical in all respects of the current tariff of CPG, except as to the name and number.
Thank you, Commissioner Linton. I would, if I could see that copy there. Thank you. I would amend to that, if the other commissioners are amenable, that the commission should, in addition to approving this restructure, direct a compliance filing, that the commission should direct the company to submit as a part of its compliance filing the names and composition of the board of directors for the pre-merged entities and the post-merged entities as well. With that motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries with that amendment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last item on the agenda is item 15, Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, filed on June 25, 2018, request to amend 2018-2020 program plan and request for administrative meeting in lieu of hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Annette Garofalo on behalf of Commission staff. This is a request, as the Executive Secretary noted, by the Department of Housing and Community Development to amend its 2018 to 2020 Empower Maryland program plan. By this amendment, DHCD would eliminate the requirement that all Tier 1 jobs require what is known as a QC inspection. Rather, these jobs, which typically do not include installation of insulation or air sealing, would receive a visual inspection from a qualified building performance inspector. The QC inspection would be reserved for other DHCD jobs where a more detailed inspection of the entire building is needed. Staff supports DHCD's request because it will reduce program costs and improve process efficiencies within the limited income Empower Maryland programs. Staff recommends the Commission approve DHCD's proposal to amend its plan as it relates to quality control inspection requirements for Tier 1 jobs.
Thank you, Ms. Garofalo. Is the department or OPC in attendance today with any comments? Do you have any comments to add?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Nicolette Tran from the Maryland Department of Housing. I'm the program manager for the Low-Income Energy Efficiency Program. And aside from what was already mentioned, I hope that you had a chance to read the report from the work group that was submitted together with the filing. We had convened a limited income work group regarding this issue after it was brought to our attention that it causes backlog on the contractor side and that is excessive compared to other comparable programs in the Empower portfolio and across the nation. The work group has come to a consensus in a 7-hour meeting that the requirements that were unintentionally implemented through the program plan the way it was written are excessive, and came up with an alternative solution that everybody agreed on would still make sure that quality control is performed on all jobs to a level that does not impede the contractor's production and business operations.
Thank you. Do you have a comment to provide?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Mikhail Raker on behalf of OPC. We don't oppose the modification, and I'm here to answer any questions the Commission may have.
Thank you, Mr. Raker. It seems like this is a common sense proposal to me to reduce some increase efficiencies and reduce the burden and costs on the program. Any questions from Commissioner Richard?
Just one quickly. So if I understand correctly, this may be for DHCD, this will be an independent inspector, independent of the contractor, that will go out to the house and just confirm that the light bulbs, the low flow devices, that type of thing were done, or what exactly would this new inspection involve?
So there are actually multiple levels of quality control in our program. The QC inspection is performed by the contractor themselves, and it has always been like that.
Okay.
There's a second level of the quality assurance, that's the QA inspection, which is performed through the department inspectors. That's us, our third-party view, and we will continue to review 10%, at least 10% of all jobs.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Linton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And my question also is for anyone that will prefer to answer it. What happens to those households where the reason for the denial of additional work is because of structural or health issues? I mean, clearly, as somebody living there, we have knowledge that something has happened. Is there a referral to another organization for assistance, or what?
Yeah, so a number of our network partners have additional outside funding sources available that they can refer customers to. Also, DHCD itself has rehabilitation programs that we routinely refer those customers to when the energy efficiency program cannot assist. And those are encouraged to re-enter the program as a Tier 3 job. That was part of our proposal for this program cycle, that any customer who initially can't receive full services will receive what they get at that time and are encouraged and assisted with what other funding sources are available to remedy those issues, and then re-enter the program to complete the job with insulation and air sealing after those issues are taken care of.
Thank you.
Commissioner Herman.
I don't have a question. I'd just like to thank everyone on the working group for obviously pulling together and trying to resolve this very quickly. It sounds like it was a unanimous decision, and I'd like to commend you all for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no other questions on this item, I would ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the department's proposal to amend its quality control requirements of its Tier 1 jobs.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Seeing no other business before the commission today, this meeting is adjourned.